Hey guys, welcome to Tell It to Trevor. Today on my podcast, I have.
The voice of XWW, Dom Douglas.
Alright, Dom. We're going to start these off with these 10 questions.
All right.
What got you into wrestling?
Oh, wow. I was maybe like 4 or 5 years old,
Okay.
and it just happened to be on TV one day that my older brother was flicking through the channels, and we saw it, and it was like a weird family bonding moment. And I know it was WWF, WWE, but yeah, that's the first core memory that I can remember of watching wrestling.
Yeah.
And then because of where I lived, I got access to like the super stations, so it was like WCW, NWA, ESPN had AWA as well.
AWA.
So I got to like experience all this in a very rapid pace, I might add.
Alright, so for the younger people, if they don't know what AWA is, just like I don't know what it is, what is AWA? Best way to describe
For me, the best way to describe AWA was accidentally getting to see the future stars of WWE.
Okay. So it's like when they did the OVW.
Yeah, but it wasn't like there wasn't developmental tours.
Okay.
The developments back then, it was all territories. So what was happening was you get really famous at like AWA, and then Vince would sign you.
Okay.
And he would take you away from the company. So it was like weird because when the Bushwhackers made their first appearance in WWE, you know, Luke and Booch, you're like, licking heads and stuff.
Yeah.
I remembered them as the Sheep Herders.
And that was their
From,
AWA.
and that was their AWA.
Okay.
And I was like, I just saw these guys eviscerate each other in the tag team they were fighting, and I forgot the name of the tag team. I don't want to say Midnight Express because I don't think it was them. But in a barbed wire cage match. And this wasn't like, oh, we just wrapped a couple pieces of barbed wire around a steel cage. No, there was a wooden structure built, and everything around it was wrapped in barbed wire.
Okay.
And ESPN showed this 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday.
Alright. What got you into commentary?
It was by accident.
By accident.
Like as soon as I got into it, it was by accident. I had just gotten into a school in Lincolnton for USA Main Event, and I was hitting lights and music, pyro and effects. I was getting into it slow and just building it up, just learning the ropes, learning every little bit that I could. A month into it is when the pandemic happened. So USA Main, they lost their commentators at that time. Not that the pandemic, but because they were real life jobs and they couldn't leave. So they had to find somebody. And a little bit of behind the scenes thing here, Braden Marshall asked me, do you think you can do commentary? Because he knows that I have a theater background. And he's seen me MC a couple of shows before. So he knows I can, talk to a crowd and keep people engaged. And I literally said, well, what's the worst that can happen? I completely fail out. And 4 years later, here I am.
Yeah.
And that's how I got the accidental start to commentary.
If you could, I know you're a commentator, but if you could wrestle anyone, who would it be and what show?
All right, this answer has not changed for years, and it's going to shock a lot of you. Little Donnie.
Little Donnie.
Little Donnie. And I'll tell you why. I have a fake hip. I can't move around too fast. I'm extremely unathletic now in my older years. Little Donnie and me could do one hell of a brawl. That's all we have to do. We just have to brawl, hit each other with kendo sticks and chairs, and just beat the living daylights out of each other.
Yeah.
And it would be a fun match. And I tell people this all the time, and they're like, why? And I'm like, for those reasons I just said.
Yeah.
Look, Little Donnie does something great, and that's brawl. I know I can at least brawl or go back into the past life that I had, because I'm 46 years old. I've done some things in my life. And I get to go back onto that, and just, it won't be a scientific match at all. There won't be a single move, hold, but you will see plenty of fists and weapons being used.
What is your top 5 movies?
Top 5 movies.
It's my 2 questions I always ask. Your top movies and your top 5 movies and TV shows. So those are my really thinker ones.
Okay, so top 5 movies, and I'm gonna cheat a lot on this
Okay.
because they're not gonna be in any particular order. The Matrix movies,
Okay.
all 5 of them. Matrix Resurrections, even the new one. Animatrix is really good too, that not many people give credit for. So that's like one of my 5. Lord of the Rings trilogy, the extended editions, because that was the last time I went to a movie for a very long time and was just thoroughly entertained. And I never read the books, and I didn't want to read the books until I was finished watching the movies because I didn't want to spoil it for myself.
That was the same thing with me with the Hunger Games series. I would read the books because of school, they made us read it. And then I was like, oh, they got movies? Cool. Lemony Snicket was another. We read all the books in school, and then we had to watch the movie afterwards. And I was like, okay, cool, great. What's so different about this? And two different things are.
It was to the point that after the second movie, I kept saying Sam's a jerk to Gollum. Gollum's doing his best and he's being nice, but Sam's being a creep and a jerk, and I don't like Sam. My friends who were very familiar with the book at that time had to fight back, tearing me apart and telling me everything because they knew I was that engrossed into the storyline that they didn't want to ruin it for me because they knew that Sam's like a real hero in those books. Spoilers, that the book's been out for like 60 years. The movies have been out for 20, come on. So, yeah, like that's how embedded I was into that. Dark Knight Rises is probably the best superhero movie made, bar none. And it's not even because of Joker. Hats off to Heath.
With the Batman series, Batman Beyonds.
Yeah.
Waiting on that to come out because that's the Batman I grew up watching.
And isn't that the last with Conroy doing the voice?
I think so.
Yeah, like before he passed, I think that was.
Yeah.
But Dark Knight just told a fantastically brilliant story on top of that with Two-Face and how easy it is to be a hero, but yet you still have to cover up something.
Yeah.
And you still have to play dirty every now and again. Because if they had like admitted the truth and that Harvey Dent had killed all those people, then all the people that he jailed who were bad guys were going to get set free due to a technicality. Yeah. So Batman had to also swallow his own moral compass in that as well.
Yeah.
So that's 3 of them. Another franchise series, Friday the 13th, all of them. Even part 8.
That's the one with Jason, right?
Jason in the hockey mask, except for the first one, because he's not in it, and the second one he doesn't have the mask. Those are because when I was a kid, horror movies were my jam, and I don't know, I just like. I got it super into special effects because of those movies as well.
So speaking about horror movies, I'm gonna give a little past of my past with horror movies. Me and my buddies, we were like, let's watch the new Halloween movie before the last one.
Haven't seen any of them yet.
With Michael Myers. And we all laughed because it was Halloween the next morning when we all left. And we're all like, crap.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new trilogy of the Halloween movies.
So,
I've heard from somebody, like, who may play the game of Strike, if you will, that they were pretty good.
So when we all left the house and we were watching it, and we're all leaving at once. And it was because, like, they're like, we don't want to, like, have someone be effed up by this guy, even though we all know it was fake.
Yeah.
But it was all the way in, like, the rich side of Monroe.
Okay,
Yeah, Monroe. So we're all like, yeah, let's all just leave at once, make sure nothing bad happens, because it was in a nice neighborhood. And now we're all, like, laughing about it. It's our way, like, do you remember when we watched Halloween on the day of Halloween? To the point now I love the franchise. Now I'm mad that they canceled it after couple years, the last one came out
Yeah.
after I got addicted to it.
Halloween 3 is still a good movie. Season
Yes.
of Witch. Season of the Witch.
Haven't seen that one.
It's the one where Myers is not in it.
Nope.
It's a completely different story from the rest. Like, Halloween was supposed to be an anthology series. So when Halloween came out, it was going to be Michael Myers. When Halloween 2 came out, it was supposed to be a spooky ghost house story. When, like, Halloween 3 came out, it was supposed to be, like, you know, the Return of the Living Dead type of stuff. It was supposed to be individual stories, like an anthology, like Creep Show. But the Myers character was so
Yeah.
over, to use a wrestling term, that they just went into a completely different direction, did the sequel, then they tried to do it for the third. And when it came out, it was pooped on completely.
Yeah.
Nobody got it, nobody liked it. Everyone was like, "Whoa, where's Michael Myers?" And then Halloween 4 through on, they went back to Myers. But 3's still good.
One I watched, he was when he went to that prison. Some abandoned one in the desert.
Is this Halloween?
Yeah.
Is this the Rob Zombie
Yes.
movies? I only saw the first one.
So he went to prison, and that's like about where I remember watching because I fell asleep because I was tired. I got off work, and I was like, "Okay, cool, my movie's on. I'll go watch it." Knocked out.
And it's bad because I actually like Rob Zombie movies.
Yeah.
Like, I liked the first Halloween he did because it was different. And if you're gonna do like a remake or whatever, make it different. That's how I feel. And House of a Thousand Corpses and that whole House of a Thousand Corpses and
That's it.
that trilogy. I haven't seen the third one yet because I'm way lackadaisical. It's kind of hard when
Yeah.
all your spare weekends are spent doing wrestling shows. It's not a bad problem to have, but. And now we can get to the fifth one.
Yes.
A New Legend of Shaolin with Jet Li.
Okay.
I am a super big Jet Li fan. And my friend, it's because my friend Daryl, D-Man, saw me. I watched the first Matrix movie on VHS so much, I knew everything. Like, I knew all the lines, I knew all the moves, I knew everything. And he was like, "Yo, Dom, like, if you like this movie, let me show you something." Like, and he brought me this Jet Li movie, New Legend of Shaolin. And in the first 10 minutes, I was like, American cinema, action cinema is completely done for me. It's boring, it's lackadaisical, it's often erroneously, that particular genre I like is erroneously called wire fu, because it's a lot of wire work.
Yeah.
We're talking about a guy with a huge spear flying through the air, doing 360 flips while spinning the spear and attacking like 100 different people at the same time. But it's like that over-the-top action. I want to be entertained.
Yeah.
And if I want to see reality, I'll just walk out the door. So that would be my top 5. Yes, there was 3 franchises in them, but the franchises are pretty good. And it could be also, you could also make Acclaim Fist of Legend by Jet Li is amazing too, and it is, because there's no wire work in it.
Yeah.
So if you don't like the wire work stuff, watch Fist of Legend.
Okay.
And it's his remake of like a Bruce Lee movie.
Okay.
And I forgot which one. I think it's like American Connection or something like that. I forgot which one, but it's a really well done movie.
What is your top 5 shows?
Shows.
WWE does count.
Okay. Well, I feel like on that aspect it'd be cheating. Because I could just immediately go NXT, Raw, SmackDown.
Well, no, WWE counts as one. Not
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. Bones was one of my favorite shows.
Okay.
I just like the criminal, like,
Criminal side of it.
and the science that goes into finding out the criminals and whatnot, and the fact that the whole concept is you have like this brass tacks police officer who happens to be like an army vet and whatnot, with this scientist who's never done anything criminal investigations in her life,
Yeah.
and now they have to solve all these crimes together. Jumps the shark after Sweets leaves the show, but you know. So that was the first one, Bones. Stranger Things And I was very late to the Stranger Things party. I didn't watch season 1 until the day before season 2 came out.
Okay.
And I was told to watch it, and in the first 5 seconds, I was hooked. And then I was like, Dustin, that was me when I was 13. That was like playing D&D and cursing and trying to, do all the silly stuff. And then I found out that the guy who plays Dustin, Gayton, went to my high school. Like, he graduated from my high school that I went to. Not at the same time, obviously. The kid's like 20-something. I'm 46. But, yeah, so he went through the same drama program that I went through, same building, same thing, same everything. And I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah. So we have that. So that's 2 of 5. And I'm not going to try to cheat. I don't watch much TV anymore. But The Boys, I got into that. I haven't finished the last season yet, but I intend to.
Yeah. Probably
tomorrow. That definitely I have to like make a block of time because I do not just watch one episode.
Yeah.
I have to watch the whole thing. I'm a binge watcher when it comes to TV shows that I get into.
See, there's a show I watch on Netflix, Madam Secretary.
Okay.
I always have to watch 1 episode a day, just because I'm like, this is pretty cool. It's political. I don't like political stuff, but the show is entertaining. And because I love drama shows.
And if you've seen The Boys and you know The Boys, you know the episode where it has the funniest warning. This show depicts this, and then it goes into like consensual adults were presented in this scenario. No, an octopus was not harmed in this movie or violated. It's CGI. It cost us a lot of effing money. And I was like, oh, wow, we're going to go there. Herogasm is the name of the episode, I might add. So that's 3. No, 3, 4. Okay. Ooh. And then TV show, and Fraggle Rock was always something, because I'm that old. Fraggle Rock, for me, what was really young, formative, Dom Douglas, core memory times. So you have wrestling and then you have Fraggle Rock. I mean, how can you go wrong with anything Jim Henson, especially in that time period? Yes, I didn't have to cheat.
Just remember, guys, we got that on camera too.
Yep.
If you were in any video game, which game and why?
Borderlands.
Borderlands.
And I wouldn't last long, but it's just so absurd with just the comedy and the scenarios that you get presented. It's very much so in real life Dom Douglas humor, and I think Borderlands would just probably be that. And the reason why, just because it would be a bizarre situation from beginning to end, even if that beginning to end is 5 minutes.
If you had to book yourself in a 12-man tag team match, who would be on your team?
So a 12-man tag, and I have 5 other partners.
Yes.
Throughout the course of wrestling history, or are we talking Charlotte talent?
Up to
or
you.
North Carolina. All right. Let's see if I can do both. My 5 partners: Undertaker,
Okay.
Mankind, Sabu.
Man, they're doing all the work. He's gonna say Kane next. I'm gonna be
no Kane. I still have to think hard about the other 2 because I need to get, like, I already have the ass kickers there, and if I can't swear, I apologize.
You're welcome to swear. It's the Carolinas, so.
So now we need Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Okay.
And Bruiser Brody.
Okay.
We have 4 ass kickers, 2 that can, and two of those can like blend into the technical stuff. Like Taker is a really technical wrestler, but Steamboat is the guy that we need to balance everything out.
Yeah. All right.
North Carolina talent.
Yes.
We're gonna do that now. Like So
Even
whiskey
DC.
business, no doubt. Obviously, Ryder and Marshall are two of the best in tag team wrestling right now in the area. So there's those two. Cam Jackson,
which is my new head coach.
because Cam can do it all. So whatever the situation requires, Cam can adjust accordingly. We have a couple other people, and I'm trying to broaden a little bit here as well. Because I don't want to make it like it's going to seem like it's XWW stuff, like people, but I work with most of those guys. Jordan, the untouchable Jordan Holt, would definitely be on there as well.
He's been on this podcast before, him and Zay at the same time with the
And
tag titles.
funny enough, Zay Vega would probably be my other guy, because I love Zay Vega. Wu-Tang's for the children. And the fact that Vega has that MMA background.
Yeah.
He's a legitimate ass kicker. So I've put nothing but ass kickers and amazing guys that can work circles around, hopefully, the other 6 people that are going up against us. Because I'm holding the team back 1,000%
Yeah.
on either end.
And we could put them against Money Enterprise.
I mean, we're still it's still too fresh because it just happened last night.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
if you check,
won't air until November. So
well, you can check out my reaction of what he's talking about on ExtremeTVOnline.com. $4.99 a month. The first 5 days are free, and when you see what happened at Tidal Wave, that is 100% human reaction from Dom Douglas.
Alright. Who on XWW has the hardest chops
Hardest chops.
that you heard from the commentary table?
Anybody we've had in XWW, because I've been with XWW for about almost 4 years now, and before they went to AEW, JD Drake was the heavyweight champion, and I don't care who you are, what you are, where you are, JD Drake has the most devastating chop I've ever heard, in person, on commentary, sit my butt in the seats, on TV. You hear it and you know it hurts.
Yeah. Alright. If Raleigh got a Major League Baseball team, what would their team name be and what would their mascot look like?
All right, so
I've had the Florida Mans from Florida Man. I've had the Boulders from Jake Parker from Title Belt and PCW.
before I answer as Dom Douglas, the sponsors and whatnot, are they anything baseball related?
No.
Okay. Because of how I feel about the sport of baseball, they don't give a shits with just an invisible man as their mascot.
Okay.
I stopped caring about baseball in '95,
95.
right around the strike. Almost got back into it when Sosa McGuire did the home run derby in the season.
Okay.
That kept me enthralled. Then you kind of like knew towards the end, okay, something fishy's going on.
Yeah.
A little bit. That almost got me back in. The Phillies winning a World Series should have brought me back in.
Yeah.
But because I was born in Southeast Kensington, Philadelphia, but it would be an insult if I decided to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm done with baseball. So that's why the answer is like that. It's just because I have no idea about baseball anymore. I don't know who even plays the sport anymore.
Yeah.
Pete Rose deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
See, for me, I started watching baseball when I was a kid, but I grew up watching like the minor leagues, the Cannonballers, when they were the Intimidators.
Okay.
When they named it after a senior.
Yeah.
So I grew up watching that with my grandfather and my dad. We had to leave early because I threw up.
Okay.
So I was like, cool, I'm not ever going to go in. Flipping their channels, nothing to watch. Braves are on. I was like, cool, great. I'm going to watch baseball, I guess. It's not hockey season. I can't watch NHL. football season's going on, but nobody good, and it's not Sunday.
Yeah.
So watching that, and I was like, it's not that boring game. Now you can catch me once a month at the Knights or Cannonballers, meeting the players, talking to them, watching the game.
And to me, baseball's not a boring sport.
Yeah.
Never has been. It's just like my love of the game grew out
Yeah.
when that first strike happened.
Yeah.
And kind of like took a whole season away. Because I was like, I watched Cal Ripken break the record.
Yeah.
On TV. Like, I purposely watched that. I remember some of my youngest memories when it comes to sports, and my oldest brother, we would always say, hey, when's Ripken going to break the record? Oh, he's going to, if he doesn't miss a game, he'll break it this time in this year.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. We got to make plans for that. And I'm like 8 years old asking him this.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm never going to say no sports. I just don't like certain sports. I almost stopped watching football when they had their mini strike. So
Yeah.
that's just how I feel about strikes in general. Now, boxing, on the other hand, my technical prowess on boxing and what goes into it and whatnot is long gone. But I will always watch it with my dad. If my dad's watching boxing, I will always watch with him. Because boxing is a great sport. It's the sweet science for nothing, you know. And my uncle may or may not like be a former professional boxer who now trains people in Kensington Rock Ministries. Uncle Buddy, my godfather, love you.
If you could work with anybody in the wrestling business, who would it be and which show?
Define work.
Like, it could be
In the
commentary,
booth or just anything.
anything.
Paul Heyman, ECW.
ECW.
In the booth, just to try to get a peek into the brilliant madness that is in that man's head.
Yeah.
And also wouldn't hurt that having Joey Styles there, because I've been called budget version Joey Styles enough in my 4 years doing this. I consider it a compliment, so don't be afraid to say it. It's not like I literally have been inspired by JR, Joey Styles, and Morrow. Like, it shows.
All right. If you were on any TV show, which TV show and why?
TV show that I should have said in the top 5, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Should have said that in the top 5, but Breaking Bad.
All right. We're going to start this thing called Trev Shock.
Uh-oh.
You got 30 seconds to answer these 6 questions.
I can't wait to fail.
I've only had one person actually complete them, and that was Paul Lasher.
All right.
All right, you ready to start this?
30 seconds on the clock. Starting. Let's wait for it to go to 28:10.
Okay. Who is your wrestling mentor?
Jimmy 2 times.
Who is your favorite wrestler growing up?
Magnum TA.
What was your first wrestling show you worked?
Worked USA Main Event.
How many wrestling brands have you commentaried on?
This month, this year, 5, 6. That number is actually 10 plus, but.
And what is your favorite wrestling brand?
Favorite wrestling brand? NXT. Black and gold.
Favorite Looney Tunes character?
Taz.
Taz. Okay. And by the way, guys, we also have merchandise. It's my logos, my Trevor Shelley logo that you see on my Instagram, YouTube, all platforms. Tell It to Trevor logo. And then I also got music out there too that you can listen to, which is going to be kicking off when I start more consistently going to shows, where I will be doing vlogs, and each episode will contain one of my songs each time. All right. Thank you, Don, for
Thank
being
you.
on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.